On the 5th of April 2019, Obi and Sarah tied the knot. It was such a beautiful and lavish ceremony with lots of food, laughter, and dancing, and everyone was happy for them. The couple met during their university days, and with the help of Sarah and her wealthy family, Obi finished school, got a very high-paying job, becoming the man he was today. Despite all the challenges, the couple were finally married. Obi and Sarah quickly settled into their new home and began the journey of marriage. They were very happy, going through the honeymoon phase, spending quality time and preparing for their future babies. In the blink of an eye, 5 years passed and still Obi and Sarah had no children. Obi and Sarah sought the best medical doctors money could buy to find out the cause of their barrenness. But the doctors kept telling them nothing was wrong, and they should wait on the Lord. They also tried all manner of native medicine and concussion to no avail. Sarah was called a witch, and all manner of names by her mother-in-law. Her mother-in-law also accused her of eating up her children in the womb, making her unable to bear children. People even mocked Sarah and Obi, and they were the topic of many gossip sessions around town. It was so bad that Sarah was never invited to family meetings, celebrations, or gathering. In short, Sarah was treated like an outcast. The whole situation made Sarah cry a lot privately. Sarah also battled with feelings of inadequacy as she compared herself to the other mothers around her. She wondered why her case was so different, and if she would ever experience the joy of carrying her own child. But John's laughter brought her comfort and solace. The couple never let the negative comments or their childlessness get to them or steal their joy. Both being devotee Christians, they kept praying and waiting on the Lord. Their faith kept them going in hard times. Towards the end of the 5th year of their marriage, Sarah and Obi had had enough and decided to go for adoption. They successfully adopted a young boy of 13 years from the orphanage. Their joy knew no bounds. They now had a young child who could run about and they could take care of. Even though Obi's family had some reservations about the adoption and were worried that the couple may have given up on trying to get pregnant and birth their own biological children, in the end, they couldn't do anything about it. Obi and Sarah's hearts swelled with love as they welcomed John into their home. The young boy's eyes sparkled with joy and gratitude, melting away their fears and insecurities. For the first time in years, their house felt like a home. John's transition into his new family was not without its challenges. He struggled to trust and open up to Obi and Sarah, haunted by memories of his past. But with time and patience, he began to feel safe and loved, and also began to open up to his parents. 8 months after adopting their son John, Sarah was confirmed pregnant. Obi and Sarah were over the moon. They thanked and praised God for this great miracle. They also believed that adopting John was a true blessing, and they vowed to keep treating him with love. However, as the months went by and Sarah's Tommy grew, the couple began to notice strange things in their home. One night, Sarah woke up to pee but noticed someone had cut off her fingernails. Sarah screamed and woke Obi up. She showed him her trimmed-off nails and he was surprised. Obi stood up to check for any intruders around the house but couldn't find any. Neither did he find any signs of forced entry into the house. Seriously shocked and puzzled, the couple prayed that night and went back to bed. Sarah and John also began to notice changes in their adopted son's behavior. Their once calm and loving son became stubborn and defiant. He would always stare angrily at Sarah's growing tummy and most times refused to go near her. He also became withdrawn, and Obi would often see him whispering to himself when he thought no one was looking. Whenever Obi raised up the issue of John's sudden change in behavior, Sarah would dismiss it, saying John was just a teenager going through puberty and would soon outgrow his current behavior. But Obi remained skeptical. 2 weeks after the nail-clipping incident, Obi traveled for work. That evening after dinner and a little entertainment, John and Sarah went to bed. When Sarah woke up the next day, to her horror, she discovered that part of her hair had been chopped off. She immediately called her husband in tears and fear, telling him what had happened. A very worried Obi asked his wife to see if there were any signs of an intruder, but after checking the whole house, Sarah found none. Obi urged a very scared Sarah to calm down and find a solution to her hair in the meantime. 2 days later, Obi returned from his trip. A month passed by without any incidents, and the couple began to relax. John's behavior was still strange at times, but the couple believed he would outgrow this phase. One Saturday morning, while Obi was outside washing his car, Sarah was woken up by strange sounds coming from a room upstairs. "John! John!" Sarah called out, but she got no response. Unable to sleep, Sarah decided to go find out where the noise was coming from. Sarah, with her stomach protruding in front of her, takes the stairs one at a time until she gets to the attic. Sarah finds the source of the weird sound that woke her up. It turned out to be a broken old toy which belonged to her husband many years ago. She wondered what could have possibly turned it on. On her way downstairs, Sarah slips on a toy which wasn't there before and falls. Obi and John, hearing Sarah scream, immediately rush into the house. Obi finds John's toy, which was the cause of his wife's fall, and immediately starts to shout and accuse John of purposely causing his wife's fall. Sarah was rushed to the hospital, and thankfully both she and the baby were fine. Sarah, however, was put on bed rest for some time. This incident made Obi even more weary of John, who was still behaving strangely, and was always the only other person in the house when these strange things happened. Weeks passed without any incidents, and everything seemed to have gone back to normal in Mr. Obi's household. Sarah, now 8 months pregnant, decided to clean John's room one afternoon. As she was cleaning, she stumbled upon a box hidden underneath his bed. Out of curiosity, Sarah opened the box and received the shock her life. Inside the box were her nails, hair, and other personal belongings that mysteriously went missing around the house. Sarah couldn't believe what she was seeing. She sat frozen and scared. As soon as Mr. Obi returned from work that day, Sarah showed him the box containing her hair, nails, and other personal belongings, including an ugly-looking doll. Mr. Obi couldn't believe his eyes. He immediately got angry and said to his wife, "I have been complaining about this boy for a while, but you never listen. You keep saying he will outgrow this phase. Now see." Sarah broke down in tears, unable to believe that her precious son might be the mastermind behind the mishaps that had been happening in her home. Mr. John was so angry he decided to return John back to the orphanage. Sarah, still pleading on John's behalf, asked her husband to wait so they can hear from John. As soon as John returned from school, his parents called him into the living room. They then presented the box containing the nails, hair, etc. to him, demanding an explanation. John, frightened and unable to lie as his secret had been discovered, immediately broke down in tears. He told his parents that his imaginary friend, Shadow, who had been his one and only friend and companion, advised him to try and get rid of the unborn baby. He said he was afraid that his parents, Obi and Sarah, would no longer want or love him, since they were about to have their own biological child. He broke down and told his parents some of the horrific things he experienced in the hands of some of his so-called foster parents before he was brought to the orphanage where he was adopted. He apologized to his parents and pleaded with them not to return him to the orphanage. It turned out that John had developed some psychological disorder as a result of the negative experiences he had gone through. Sarah and Obi, after hearing from John, felt really sad for all he had gone through in his young life. They decided to seek medical assistance and found a credible therapist who began therapy sessions with John. As the days went by, John began to show signs of improvement, and in no time, he let go of his imaginary friend. Sarah gave birth to twins, a boy and girl, after 5 years of delay. News of her delivery spread far and wide, and the baby's naming ceremony was one that would not be forgotten in a hurry. John felt sorry for what he had done and apologized to Obi and Sarah. He promised to be a better son and make things right. Obi and Sarah forgave him and welcomed him back into their family with open arms, and peace, joy, and harmony was restored in their home. Sarah also reconciled with her in-laws, who pleaded for forgiveness for the terrible way they had treated her in the past. In the end, Sarah and Obi's trust and faith in God made what seemed impossible a reality. Not only did Sarah and Obi become parents and shut the mouth of their mockers, they became a source of inspiration and a point of reference to everyone waiting on the Lord for the fruit of the womb in their community. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and turn on bell notifications so you don't miss out on our new uploads.